Thank you. Good evening, our chairman for the occasion, Dr. K Yeboah, the Honorable Minister, Brigadier General Dr. Tim Batabana, who headed security during the 13th African Games, members of the local organizing committee for the 13th African Games, fellow book lovers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this exciting celebration of literature as we gather here to launch a book titled Ghana's Cocoa Industry, the Role of the State, authored by Dr. Ofosu-Asare, an astute sports journalist and administrator. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Your presence is deeply appreciated. Gratitude, they say, is an exquisite form of courtesy. We're commencing the program with prayer, and without much ado, I'll call on Mrs. Juanita Bansing to give us the opening prayer. Shall we put our hands together for her as she walks up here, please?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With reverence to God, I will humbly ask that we all be upstanding. Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you. We bless you tonight. Accept our gratitude. Thank you for bringing us from all walks of life to witness the launch of this great book that will change the narrative of Ghana's cocoa industry. We thank you for the inspiration. We thank you for the labor of love, the dedication, and the commitment that has given birth to this great book. Spirit of the living God, we ask that your presence takes preeminence in the room. Fill our hearts with gratitude, joy, and accomplishment. And at the end of the day, we will have cause to say, this is indeed the doing of the Lord, and it is wonderful in our sight. We thank you tonight. In Jesus' name we have prayed with much thanksgiving. Amen. Kindly resume your seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now that the program has officially commenced, may I crave your indulgence to be upstanding for the national anthem of Ghana. Thank you, you please be seated. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to this August occasion, launching a book titled Ghana's Cocoa Industry, the Role of the State. Once we've committed the program to the care of the Almighty, there is the need to get a chairman to chair the program in a human form. But before then, let me seize the opportunity to introduce some of the dignitaries present. I'm sure very soon the ushers will furnish me with the rest of the list. Let me begin from the sporting fraternity because of my background, obviously. Just as we were entering, I jokingly said the host of Sports Beat is launching a book that is agric related, supported by the host of Sports Highlight, Mr. Kwaku Yeboah. Two astute sports journalists. No wonder he's here to lend support to his brother. Thank you so much, writer. He's the president of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana. Please give us a wave, writer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right on the right side of Mr. Kwaku Yeboah is the man referred to as the truth, Mr. K Yeboah, another colleague of Dr. Just as he was entering, I was trying to behave like an American, pronouncing cocoa as cocoa, and was and cocoa, come cocoa nianko. Thank you so much, Mr. K Yeboah. We have in our midst Dr. Kwaku Edubofo and Madam Araba Bosomchi, representing former President J. Kufuor, His Excellency. Thank you so much for joining us. We are grateful. The members of the 13th African Games are here in their Harizako will say bulk majority. They are here to lend support to Dr. Ofosu-Asare. And we have Mr. Ibrahim. He was representing the president at the LOC. Let's give it up to him, please. He did a yeoman's job during the longest name within the committee. Mr. Ahmed Osman Halid Guruguruwe. Oh, let's put our hands together for him. Anytime I encounter him, he reminds me of life in the Zongos. Obobra Zongo, now Yeska, if you are large, 1 year, fellow Baba, to be sure and one friend Baba. Amen. When I was giving a summarized CV of the chairman, I was taken aback. When you boss I'm saying, Deputy Managing Director, Produce Buying Company Limited, Ghana, 1990 to 1993. Deputy Chief Executive, Ghana Cocoa Board, 1993 to 1998. And to highlight some of his key achievements, he initiated, structured, negotiated, and managed C9 and 2003. C9 and 2003. His key achievement at the time, he participated in the negotiation of the International Cocoa Agreement 2001. Led relocate in the energy sector. He's also well revered, having managed Tema Oil Refinery as the managing director between 2004 and 2009. He was the Deputy Managing Director, Finance and Commerce, September 2003 and 2004. He was the Chief Executive. His key achievement as the Executive Chairman of Kotoko, he won 2 Premier League titles, 2 Champion of Champions titles, 2 FA Cup runners-up. He signed cooperation agreement with Sunderland in the UK, TP Mazembe, TR Congo, and Petro Luanda of Angola. He secured as many as 13 sponsorship agreements for Kumasi Asante Koroko during his tenure. He commenced infrastructure projects, players accommodation, training facilities, and offices. He has served on 36 boards across industries such as finance, energy and mining, and sports, including Ghana Cocoa Board and Ghana Processes Excellence and Social Impact. He currently serves as the Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies. Distinguished.
Thank you very much, Kwaku. I was afraid that he was going to say one of his many jokes. Then also the fact that cocoa plays a major role in the Ghanaian economy. I'm sure his book gives an account of the many ways that this country benefits from cocoa. But before the reforms, indeed, it was a major contribution to the tax revenue of this country. Now, anybody who does political economy of cocoa will realize that for a long time, our farmers were not treated fairly because all the monies were going to finance the government budget. I believe cocoa will still be relevant in the years ahead. And I started to say that we should be careful about the oil curse. Don't let the euphoria of the oil kill the spirit that we have in revamping the cocoa industry for the benefit of millions of our people. There's also another area that I think our eminent scholar can look at, the oil curse, how that will impact on the cocoa industry. And I mean, in recent times, the galamsey phenomenon. I came across an advert which was trying to say, drink the water which was colored. And it will do so many.
Me to run through the list. We have Mr. William Carty, Chief Director, Ministry of Youth and Sports in our midst. The Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, just arrived. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for joining us. Mr. Hubert Seshi, Studio YKAT, Managing Director, is in our midst. Mr. Ofosu-Asare, Consa, Contract Manager. Mr. Bismarck Sarkodie Ado, Consa, Commercial Director. Mr. Charles Aqua, Chief Executive Officer, Comeback, Trading and Transport Services. Mr. Nicky Wilson, K3 Services Limited, Oil and Gas, Executive Director. Ofosu-Asare Enchi, he is the Ofosu-Asare for the author, Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare. Mrs. Elizabeth Grant, the mother of Dr. Ofosu-Asare, is in our midst. Let's put our hands together for her. Mr. Sarkodie, UGBS School Administration. We have Professor Dela William Kofi, Acting Dean, University of Ghana Business School. The father-in-law of Dr. Ofosu-Asare and his Mrs. Mr. Atta Jakwe and wife, Mrs. Nancy Abe, are here. We have Mr. Stanley Blanksy, Chief Executive Officer, PAG Technologies Ghana Limited. Of course, as I was running through the list of the LOC members, some were omitted. Ms. Uba Ochi, an astute journalist and a legal practitioner, games coming up. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I believe we are going to lend the needed support to make this program a success. It's time for us to have an idea put together by the author of the book, Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare. And so, Professor Daniel Bruce Samuel will do a review of the book for us. Ghana's cocoa industry, the role of the state. Let's put our hands together for Prof. Oh, you can do it better, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair, for this occasion, Dr. K Yeboah. Please permit me to stand on the role of the state. I was in my office some couple of years back when Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare walked to my office to say that he wants me to look at a book that he has written. Now, let me say that for the past 25 years, I have been doing research in the cocoa industry. My name is Daniel Bruce, and we're doing this work in Ghana and in Cote d'Ivoire. Now, what we are doing is that we try to understand, among others, the planting and replanting decisions of cocoa farmers in the light of the many challenges and opportunities. And let me just recount a few. The first one that you would find if you go through the literature is a work that is titled Ghana is Cocoa. Cocoa is Ghana. That is one. The second one you would find is Cocoa Politics and National Development in Ghana. Then there's another work that is Cocoa in Ghana. Cocoa in Ghana, Shaping the Success of an Economy. The role of the state. The second thing that we see about this book is that he talked to over 800 farmers at the hamlet and at the community levels to understand what they are doing and what the state is doing to help them in their work. The other thing is that the author also talked to industry players, recounting some of the chapters that he writes on. In chapter 1, he talks about the origin and spread of cocoa cultivation in the world. So he takes us on the historical journey. Chapter 2, of the state in the economy. Chapter 6, he talks about cocoa board to enhance cocoa production in Ghana. Chapter 8, he talks about other important roles of cocoa board in Ghana's cocoa sector. Chapter 9, he takes us through mobile phone revolution in cocoa farming in Ghana. Chapter 10, Ghana's efforts to embrace globalization in the cocoa sector. And then in chapter 11, he does a summary of the chapters. He has some pictures in the book. Now let me take you through my understanding of what he has done. Now this book examines the role of the state in the Ghanaian industry, an industry that has never been a hands-off. The cocoa industry has never been a hands-off domain of successive governments in transforming the cocoa sector. The book argues the state role to be complement to the invisible hand in ensuring rules and regulations in contract enforcement and property rights to governing the market in stimulating growth and development. Ghana's cocoa production and exports has supported the Ghanaian economy over the recent century. It is the largest export cash crop and dominates the agricultural sector by employing about 1 million farm households and supports the livelihoods of others in the manufacturing, service, and industrial sectors. This makes it an important industry, a generator of foreign exchange and domestic revenue hub. Whilst the role of the state in the Ghanaian industry is complex in a modern state, the book attempts to provide a chronicle of intertwining interventions that the state has played to enhance production and markets in the industry. So it talks about social, cultural, economic, environmental, institutional, and technological in Ghana. The lack of a hands-off policy, though, has sustained the smallholder cocoa farmer, has tended to make even private market initiatives a state must initiative. In other words, because the state is involved in the cocoa industry, even private players would sit back and would like the state to lead. So the cocoa industry has never been a hands-off industry. The book summarizes the state's role in the cocoa industry through Cocoa Board as providing leadership in Ghana's export drive, particularly the quality aspects of cocoa to maintain competitive advantage of producing the premium cocoa that we do. The state provides the rules and regulations in the market while promoting good public-private partnerships. The state needs to link smallholder cocoa farmers to markets and to assist in solving their problems like inputs, and the state must protect the interests of primary producers and the welfare of the smallholder cocoa farmer. And the welfare of the smallholder cocoa farmer. The state's role has also been prominent through the provision of incentives for the establishment of cocoa processing companies. The state and support to the farmer. Let me end by saying that the book is well researched, the book is well presented, and is a must read. This book, to the best of my knowledge, is the first to take on directly the role of the state in the cocoa industry in Ghana. And it is recommended for all who work in the cocoa space. More information is in the book, and it will be a good read if you can have a copy. Thank you very much.
Applause as he takes his seat. Professor Fone Brofudi Okuakura. Dr. Ofosu-Asare, Ebia, next assignment is your translation. Now we are the book is intertwined. Intertwined the interform wine and as it. It reminds me of a fancy translator in a local church. There was this American, and I'll buy an on your translation. So, when you start here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to be here. The journey was a bit tiring. Say, I don't want it. I'm saying, there's some church going on carbon or carbon on the country. And the profit before Dr. Ofosu-Asare, your next assignment is your translation. Thank you so much, Prof, for that wonderful, brief and concise review. It is time for the author of the book to give us a remark. But before then, there's a short video. Let's watch it.
distinguished academic executive and a media professional with over 20 years of senior management experience. He also has experience of over 3 decades as sports broadcast journalist in Ghana and the United Kingdom.
I was born in Akomofie in the Esejaman district, the traditional city of the Akomo people. I started my primary school education at Latikum, Latikum is in the Afam Plains. Then I moved to Enyesu in Akomo area, traditional area. And I finished off at Akomofie Primary School. From there, I was very lucky. I moved to, my sister came from here, so I moved to Accra. And I was extremely excited to have moved from a village to the capital city of the country. So I did my middle school at, I had my middle school education at Mankobi St. St. 11 and the Mankobi St. St. 4 boys school. So that I went back to my traditional area, that's Akomo, and had my secondary school at Akomo Secondary School. It was something that really turned out to be very good. Initially, I didn't understand it, why I was taken from Accra to go to secondary school in my traditional area. But it really enabled me to have affinity and touch with my people. I developed a culture of and I really bonded with my people, I should say. After my secondary school, I moved to Accra again, went to the University of Ghana, did my first degree at University of Ghana.
Known for his strong research, analytical and leadership ability, he is celebrated for his dedication to impactful work across education, media, and organizational management.
I'm a family man. I'm married with 4 kids. I have a very pretty, beautiful wife. She's now Abele Ofosu-Asare. I have 4 kids. The senior one is Kofi Ofosu-Asare. Then I have Ofosu-Asare. And then I have Kwaku Ofosu-Asare Jr. and Nanama Kwaku Ofosu-Asare. These are wonderful kids. The senior ones, Kofi and Efua, are in London. But I'm here with, I'm in Ghana with Nanama and Kofi, and they're just wonderful. Kwaku is extremely intelligent, just like Nanama. Well, I lost one of the kids, so then one may say I have 5 kids. Kwame Ofosu-Asare was doing his A-level in London when I lost him, and he was really assisting me in analyzing my data after I'd come to Ghana to take my data for my PhD. So he actually contributed to the analysis of my PhD thesis, which is the foundation of the book. May he so rest.
Dr. Ofosu-Asare earned his PhD in political economy from the University of Westminster, London, where his thesis on globalization, trade liberalization, and the cocoa industry in Ghana received notable recognition. He also holds an MA in World Trade and Development from the University of Greenwich, an MPA from the University of Ghana, and postdoctorate in Business Studies from Navarra Business School in Barcelona.
I was one of the first batch or first group of people to have a guy was also from Australia, so 3 Africans, the rest from Europe, America, and China. So we were about 10 or 12 people. After that, I moved to Westminster to do my PhD, and I did that. My PhD was in political economy, and I had a wonderful experience at Westminster University. At the point, I became also the rep of the PhD students at the university, and also I was the president of the Ghana Debt Fund students in the United Kingdom and in Europe. So I also enjoyed my PhD program. Later on, when I came back to Ghana and was lecturing at the Biographical Business School, I had the opportunity to go to Navarra Business School in Barcelona, one of the finest business schools in the world.
Dr. Ofosu-Asare's academic career includes lecturing roles at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration Business School, IMPA, the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, and Ghana Police College. He has taught in the following areas: strategic human resource management, leadership, emotional intelligence, time management, development issues in Ghana, and African studies. He was the resource person for GIMPA's short courses and training programs. Additionally, he serves as the chairman of GIMPA Business School Disciplinary Committee, as well as a member of the entire GIMPA Disciplinary Committee. In media, Dr. Ofosu-Asare's career began with Ghana Television, GTV, where he served as a sports presenter and a commentator for 14 years. He was a sports broadcasting icon and hosted Sports Beats, one of the leading weekly sports programs in Ghana in the 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s. He covered major events like the 1996 Olympics and the African Games for GTV. In UK, he produced and presented a weekly sports program, Sports with Kwaku, on OBE TV for over 6 years and covered the 2006 World Cup and the 2008 African Cup of Nations for the station. He has a vast corporate experience in senior management positions. CEO of TV3 Network Limited, Accra, Ghana. General Manager, OBE TV, London, UK. Managing Consultant, American Life Insurance Company, London, UK. Administrative and HR Manager, Ashanti Goldfield, Accra, Ghana. Since 2017, he has led Power Excellence Training and Media Consultancy, providing management consultancy and training for notable Ghanaian institutions like VRA, Gradeco, and Ghana Stock Exchange. Dr. Ofosu-Asare was appointed Executive Chair of the Local Organizing Committee, LOC, for the 2023 African Games, Accra, and played a key role for the first time when Ghana hosted the 13th edition of the African Games in Accra and Cape Coast. He also served on various national sports committees and as a pundit on CNN and Vox Africa. Throughout his career, Dr. Ofosu-Asare has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to excellence, high integrity, and capacity building, leaving an indelible impact wherever he served. His favorite quote, "Everything happens for a reason and God knows why."
My point of interest in the video was the Titi Galantine and Ekolak. So I bought life for pain, Papa. It reminds me of 99 days in Agege, Yabenya's experience. Mhone Galantine, Namakai, no Fabian near Fenny Bombay. Komborosa, no Titi Galantine, Oba, no easy. Men and number were hearing news. Yeah, no way one, I mean, you're singing for my mommy. So I had tin was now Borakam. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the author of the book, Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare.
Thank you very much, my colleague, Dan K Yeboah. I still have the guarantee, so you can borrow them for your ankle and maybe for yourself to increase your height. Before I start, I want to ask for a big favor from all of you here in assembled. I will plead with you, virtually plead with you, for us to observe a 1-minute silence for my dear son, Kwaku Ofosu-Asare, who assisted me tremendously when I was analyzing my data. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. May Kwaku's soul rest in perfect peace. Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, Member of Parliament for the good people of Yagaba Kabori. At this time, it's a very, very busy day, a busy time for you. You also double as the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, and you also headed the LOC for the 13th edition of the African Games. Thank you very much for coming. By this time, you should have been in the constituency. You just arrived, decided to cut your campaign short to be here to join us. very grateful. The chairman of the occasion, Dr. K Sapong, who is like a big brother, distinguished personalities, the list is tall, so permit me to cut the protocol short or build on the earlier protocols. The media, ladies and gentlemen, is a great honor. I've been looking forward to this day, and we thank the good Lord that the day has materialized and we are alive and we are witnessing it. So we thank the Lord for how far He has brought me. As the video indicated, the narrative was that a poor cocoa farmer's son. I don't know how many of you who know the geography of Afram Plains. Latekrom is way back beyond the river and a bit far away from Donkokrom, the capital of the Afram Plains. So walking 4 miles, a small boy who unfortunately lost his father before starting class 1, lived on cocoa farm for some time. Maybe the death of my father also assisted me to move from the village. Otherwise, I would have finished everything in the village. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how far the Lord has brought us. We, the Presbyterians, will say, Ebenezer, Jamedi Abeduni. So the point, I'm sure as you sit down, and as has been raised earlier, you'll be wondering, Kwaku Ofosu-Asare is noted for his activities in the sports industry. So what motivated him to go into this research and writing a book titled Ghana's Cocoa Industry, the Role of the State? As I indicated, I'm a son of 2 cocoa farmers. My mother and my father were cocoa farmers. My current mother is Mama Grant, who is a cousin of my mom, the cocoa farmer. And I remember what her cousin told me, that's my mother. She said, okay, when I went to secondary school, she said, Kwaku, they meet me, I am on you, me do a bit of so they only say me do cocoa. So cocoa has been all the time ringing in my ears. And as a small boy growing up on the cocoa farm, my big brother, who is a Busapenyi, also almost took my eye off when we were plugging cocoa. So we were plugging and we saw a snake, and he panicked, and he was running away. Instead of holding the stick, he didn't hold the, those of you, what is used in plugging the cocoa, the shell. He rather held the stick and was running. And the small boy was running after him, and I got a deep cut on top of my right eyebrow. So anytime I look at my face in the mirror and I see the scar, it's also reminded me of my days on the cocoa farm as a kid. So all these things have rolled into one, and they went ahead to motivate me to try and look at the cocoa industry and how the country has benefited from the exploits of cocoa farmers, and whether we have been grateful to them, whether we have not been grateful. If you haven't been grateful, the need for us to do more for cocoa farmers. So this motivated me to a larger extent. But what broke the camel's back was when I looked at the time, the Rolling Stone. I'm sure most of us witnessed that period. 1983, we went to the IMF begging for money, IMF access to reform, and we carried out the best reforms. And Ghana became the poster boy of the IMF reforms. Then in 1993, IMF said we should reform the cocoa sector. What did they mean by that? They wanted us to abolish the Cocoa Marketing Board. So Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Cameroon, we produce 70% of the world's cocoa. At this time, in the late 80s and 90s, these countries went to IMF for loans. And the IMF said, abolish your cocoa marketing boards because they are a drain to the economy. And they are also making it difficult for cocoa farmers to get their right prices. Of the four, it was only Ghana which told the IMF, this one we can do it. Cote d'Ivoire abolished it, Nigeria did same, as well as Cameroon. So the Rawlings administration decided to face the IMF and World Bank head on. And the explanation, I got opportunity to speak to P.V. Obin, who was the leader of the team, and I asked P.V., how were you able to do it? That was the time I was speaking data as well. How were you able to stand up to the IMF? Because the IMF is a bully. They bully everybody. And the IMF has a straitjacket. It's one size fits all. The Washington Consensus, I've also spoken about that in the book. In chapter 5, it tells you about whether you have headache, whether you have stomach pain, whether you have neck pain, IMF will give the same medication. So as Stiglitz said, we call them, their measures are straitjacket. If you are fat or small, it's the same jacket they will give you to wear. So how were you able to face them? And so PV told me that, may his soul rest in peace, the late PV Obey. He said, we had to tell them that the cocoa industry, cocoa board, we are assisting the industry through cocoa board. So if we demolish cocoa board, we will not be in the position to generate the needed foreign exchange to pay back your loans. They also had put their pay documents all in very well. So what they did was that they were asked to reform cocoa board and liberalize the marketing operations of cocoa board. As Dr. Sapon said, prune down the staff. I think when I was researching, I realized that they had to get rid of about 10,000 ghost names. So the IMF was arguing that, look, this is like a conduit for siphoning money. So I decided to go into that to research. And then I found out a lot of things. And I have argued in the book, just like Professor Sapon said, that cocoa board is very relevant for the activities of the cocoa industry. And cocoa farmers are also benefiting from the activities of cocoa board. The challenges were enormous. I mean, rural area, sometimes we had to sleep in the villages, and so I divided the cocoa farming areas into areas where I termed the cocoa town, then the cocoa village, and the cocoa hamlet. So there were times that I had to be on the hamlet with the farmers and all that, sleeping there and all that. Other challenges were also finance. I had to, recruit research assistants and all that. Sometimes we'll be on the road for about a week and all that. And then there was also a very significant challenge. I was lucky somebody gave me a 4x4 vehicle, so I could go into all the hinterlands. So sometimes when the farmers saw me, they said, no, I won't talk to you. They are same people. They have come from cocoa board. They come in their big cars. They come and collect data. We don't see anything. We don't hear anything. There was one farmer, an illiterate farmer, very interesting thing. I went to the hamlet, and he said, where have you come from? I said, I've come from the university. I'm doing a research. Which university? He said, University of Westminster. Are you sure you are coming from Westminster? This is an illiterate person. Let me see a letter that you are coming from Westminster. And so I produced my school's letter that I had. But this was an illiterate. So he just took a look at the paper, saw it, ran his eyes through. He said, okay, now I can talk to you. To cut down costs, I had to employ my own wife as a research assistant. So Mrs. Ofosu-Asare was also on the field with me to enable me cut down costs. So these were some of the challenges. what were some of the findings in short? There's one thing that I want policymakers to take note. The cocoa farmer sees, say, the increase of cocoa price. This year we have increased cocoa price. To the cocoa farmer, you haven't done anything if you increase cocoa price. Why? He feels entitled to the price increase. Because cocoa farmers think that they have been cheated over the years. They are not getting the right amount of money that will sell the cocoa on the world market. So to him, if you increase the price from whatever to what, so they're still owing us. They need to give us back our money. So the key finding was that the cocoa farmer will feel motivated when you increase the price, when you give him intervening measures like free mass spraying, as President Kufuor did, and then you give them hybrid seedlings to plant, you pay them bonuses, and you do all these things in addition to the increase in the price. That is the only way you can motivate the cocoa farmer. If you just increase the price, forget it. So this is something very important. This is why I have argued that the state has an important role to play in the enhancement of cocoa production or in the sustainability of the cocoa industry. Then there was one thing that I also found, I'm sure most of you might be aware. All our cocoa farmers, Dr. Sapon said I spoke to close to over 800 people. 66% of them are old men, over 60 years. 66% are over 60 years. And they also have aging farms. And so, if we don't come in with intervening measures, and it is only the state that can facilitate that, the sustainability of our cocoa industry will be in jeopardy. How do we attract the young men to take over from the old cocoa farmers? How do we also encourage the cocoa farmer to cut down his aging tree to plant the young, the seedlings, which we term as hybrid, which has been also discovered or research has proven from Craig that they yield faster 3 years and they are robust to resist diseases. If the state does not intervene to let them do this, it will be difficult. So I've also, when I was refreshing my data, I also realized that the current government has come out with intervening measures to give seedlings, hybrid seedlings, the cocoa farmers, to replace the age-old, the old trees, the tetekwashi that we know, we call tetekwashi. And if you cut down one tree, they will give you, initially it was 550 or so, now government has increased it to 1,000 cedis. Government is giving them free seedlings, government is giving them economic trees, government is also assisting them in diverse ways. So if the state does not implement all these measures, the cocoa farmer will just opt for another cash crop. Already, he feels entitled to some of the things that they are not getting. But then, if you want him to change to plant the seedling, the young one, you need to also give the cocoa farmer plantain suckers, which will also assist him survive before the 3 years. This, no individual can do that. So the state has an important role to play. And then he mentioned the quality control. Cocoa board's quality control is stringent from the farm to the export port at Tema and Takoradi. When Cote d'Ivoire abolished their marketing board, they call it CICE, Cameroon and Nigeria, they realized that cocoa board, there was a very, very huge vacuum. It's a common, there's also this word which is common in Ghana, lacuna. So there was that lacuna, that vacuum. So now Cote d'Ivoire has gone back to reinstate its board. Nigeria has gone back. Cameroon has gone back. So in the book, I've also stated that the Rawlings administration saved Ghana's cocoa and Ghana's economy by not abolishing cocoa board. So you see, all these things are decisions by government. And then in the book, I've also outlined the Kufuor administration's serious measures, intervening measures that were implemented during Kufuor's era. We have what we call the Kodapec, that the mass spray. We also have the high-tech, the seedlings and application of fertilizer, free seedlings, free spraying, and all that. These are the things the cocoa farmer needs to motivate and entice him. So these have been also outlined as the reviewer said. So the cocoa farmer needs a lot of support, and it can be given to the cocoa farmer by the state. The state can also come out with policies that will help the buying companies, the LBCs, to also assist in providing amenities. This is one of also the important thing that I found in during my research. In most of the cocoa growing areas, they are lacking amenities. No good roads, no clinics, no schools, no potable water, and all that. My wife would testify those days that we're doing I had to carry my water all the time to these areas. So they need all this to also help the young ones to stay. Because the young ones are not having all this electricity. I went to areas, it's in the book. You can see the cocoa farmers themselves planting, as it were. I'm using the word planting with a lot of circumspection. Electricity poles. Those of you who are here, can anyone tell me the electricity pole close to his or her house, whether he was involved in planting that tree to connect light to his house or her house? But cocoa farmers, in all that they are doing for us, they also have to do this. Even when they want to give them electricity, they have to carry their own electricity poles to plant in some cases. So the book has exposed a lot. I'm happy that the minister is here representing the president and future presidents. We are asking that you help the cocoa farmers. Cocoa is the backbone of our economy. It will remain the backbone of our economy forever. So the way forward is an important role for the state. I want to suggest, it's a suggestion, we all know Tete Kwashi brought cocoa to Ghana. When we were young, they told us a funny story, but when I researched, I don't think that is a true story. Because Tete Kwashi swallowed the beans from Fernando Po, was in the boat for about 1 month, and then when he got to Ghana, he went to do number 2 and took the beans out and planted. I don't think it's a true story. But the point I want to make today is that we have let Tete Kwashi down. We haven't given him the role that he deserves. We haven't appreciated what Tete Kwashi has done for the country, the case of. So I want to suggest, before I bring my lesson to a close, I want to suggest that Tete Kwashi Circle, we should plant cocoa trees there. We should make Tete Kwashi Circle a tourist attraction, a tourist center with beautiful cocoa trees. It's a big circle. So those of us who are passionate about cocoa farmers and what they have done for us and how we have benefited, we are appealing to the state to turn Tete Kwashi Circle into a nice cocoa farm that will attract tourists who come here to see Ghana. Interestingly, it is also close to ShopRite, and so you have a lot of people who go shopping, and this beautiful thing that I'm proposing can help us to attract tourists. On that note, I want to also thank all of you for showing up today. I want to thank those who assisted me during my school days. My mom, who is being fully represented here by Mama Grant, my father, my siblings, and all those who did, who assisted me in diverse ways, my kids, my friends, Ano Kofi, and all that is stated in the book. I'm so thankful to all of you. And to those of you who are here today for us to launch the book, I'm extremely grateful to you. May the good Lord bless you as you buy the book. And don't only buy the book. President Kufuor has said that this book must be read by every Ghanaian child because of the importance of the cocoa industry. So I want to thank you so much for everything, and once a teacher, always a teacher. If you give me the time, the chairman has access to restrict, but you saw what Professor Sapon also did. We can lecture the whole day, but I want to bring my sermon to a close, the Presbyterian sermon, and to also tell you that as you leave here, propagate the news and let all Ghanaians appreciate the important role of the state in our cocoa industry. Please spend wisely, buy the book. When you buy, make sure you read, and don't just go and put it down, so that we can all assist our cocoa farmers for us to have a very, very vibrant cocoa industry. We need to overtake Ivory Coast. We lost the leadership to Ivory Coast in 1996, 1997. But we need to do well to do that. Finally, I've gotten an indication. Let me add quickly that Côte d'Ivoire overtook us in 1976-77 because of the important role of the state, the Ivorian government, under the late Ofosu-Asare. So not only in Ghana, but in every part of the world, the state has an important role in this sector. I thank you so much for your rapt attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare, the author of the book, Ghana's Cocoa Industry, the Role of the State. I'm sure each of us here will grab a copy. I can kindly here. And I was happy you were emphasizing that we should buy the book. Coastal areas now. Sometimes the fisher folks, when they see the educated reading and smiling, they wonder. And you go come fisherman and to qua, which me show it was a cratch of fumba or a cratch man wallace. They don't understand why you should be just looking through a newspaper and be smiling. It is now the turn of the former president, His Excellency John Ejekum Kofi Diewokufo, to give us the keynote address. He's not here, but he's duly represented. His policy that Ghanaian cocoa farmers fell in love with was the mass spraying of cocoa. That was a game changer. And so without much ado, let me call on Dr. Edubofo, who is representing the former president, to give us the keynote address. Let's put our hands together for him, please.
Good evening. First, let me apologize for the absence of the former president. He meant to be here himself, but due to some circumstances, he couldn't come, so I'm here to deputize for him. So when I was coming, he whispered a few things into my ear to tell the audience. President Kufuor is from a cocoa family. His parents were very good cocoa farmers in the Ahafo area, near Gosso, Tanoso, Tepa, those areas. During his early days in secondary school, in the long backs, he went to the farms to help the parents, like most of the older folks did at the time. So he knows the cocoa industry very well. And currently, after his presidency, he's a very good cocoa farmer. He is farming in his hometown of Daban, and as a matter of fact, 2 years ago, he was awarded a district cocoa farmer. So he knows the cocoa industry in and out, and he has fallen in love with it since his youthful days. So I don't know whether when the author approached him to write a piece for the book, he knew this fact, that's why he asked him, but that's the story. He's a very good cocoa farmer and he loves the cocoa industry. And he says that it was his pleasure to write the piece for the book because if you look at the title for the book, The Cocoa Industry, the Role of the States, he actually lived the role of the states in the cocoa industry when he was the president of the nation. When he came to power, the cocoa farmer was the most heavily taxed worker in Ghana. He was only given about 30% of the world cocoa price, and it made the cocoa industry not very attractive to the farmers. So one of his first major policy initiatives in the cocoa industry was to reverse the purchasing price of the cocoa from the farmers. He switched from 30% to the cocoa farmer and 70% to the state to 30% to the state and then 70% to the cocoa farmer. And it did a lot of magic because before that, most cocoa farmers were cutting their cocoa trees for other crops, and that stopped that issue. And they started planting cocoa and taking good care of the cocoa again. And then when he was the president, one of the early issues that he did, the policy interventions that he undertook was the mass spraying of cocoa. What they call, another issue that we call the cocoa high-tech. And that changed the industry immediately. We started spraying the cocoa, giving the cocoa farmers good seedlings, high-tech seedlings, and pruning the cocoa trees for them and all that. So within about 3 or 4 years into his presidency, when he came to power, the cocoa volume that we got was about 350,000 tons. Within a matter of 3 or 4 years, it doubled to about 750,000 metric tons. That was a game changer. And as a matter of fact, the government predicted that within the next 2 or 3 years after that, Ghana will be able to have an annual harvest of cocoa about 1 million tons. And lo and behold, it happened, only that it happened after he had left office. That was the highest cocoa yield that the country had gotten since the inception of cocoa industry in Ghana. Talking about cocoa high-tech. And then, as you read from his piece, he talked about what the author pointed out about the cocoa value chain. It is estimated that the cocoa value chain for the world is about $120 billion. That's the value of the value chain. But the only amount that comes to the producers, the 4 or 5 major producers of cocoa, Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Brazil, and all that, they get only about $10 to $12 billion. So here is an industry which is worth about $120 billion, and the people who actually produce the beans get about like a tenth of the profits, or a tenth of the produce. It is not good enough. So as the author said, research, the government has a policy to try to add to the value of the cocoa beans, add value to the cocoa beans, like cocoa liquor, cocoa paste, and all that, so that at least we can put value to the cocoa and create employment for our people. That is the only way that we can have a better value of the cocoa value chain. This, as the author said, the government is on course to achieve. As a matter of fact, for now, I think we processed about 34% of our beans, and the target is about 40%. And as the author said, we are trying to get there. These are very good issues, very good interventions that the state is the only person that can involve themselves in to change the cocoa industry. And also the author talked about the fact that Most of the cocoa farmers are old people who are aging out, and the need for interventions, state interventions, to attract the youth into the cocoa industry. That's the only way that we can sustain our industry. And now also we have the issue of the galamsey. There's a clash between cocoa growing and galamsey. I believe that the time has come for a very good conversation to be had about this situation, because out of poverty, many cocoa farmers sell their cocoa cheaply. If they don't have the capacity to determine what is being given them is peanuts compared to the age and the amount of money they can get from the lifetime of the cocoa. If somebody approached them and give them like 20,000 Ghana cedis for his cocoa farm, at that point in time, since they don't normally have that quantity of money, they sell their cocoa to them, and the galamsey people destroy the whole cocoa. They can only sustain them for a few years, and then later on, their lives become miserable. I believe that there's a need for a conversation to be had as to the proper cost-benefit analysis that needs to be done to see whether it's worthwhile for cocoa farmers to give up their cocoa, for the cocoa to be destroyed, for people to do galamsey in there and destroy the land also. And also there's a need for state intervention to reclaim the galamsey lands. Whether we need to rebuild them with cocoa, we just can't leave them fallow where there used to be cocoa. So this is a serious intervention that the role of the state comes in to arrest the situation. So the way the book has been structured, it's a very good book. It's very good for policymakers and everybody who is involved in the cocoa industry, because we need this information to inform what we do as a government, as policymakers, or as farmers. So President Kufuor recommends this book very well. Like he also said, everybody should have a copy and then go through the book and see where you can have inputs so that we can grow our cocoa industry, because that's the mainstay of this economy, at least the #1 mainstay of this economy. So we need such information, such research from good writers, good authors, to inform what we need to do to make sure that our cocoa industry is sustainable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Edubofo, representing the gentle giant, former President, His Excellency J. Kufuor. Let's do it better for him. The President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is our special guest of honor, and he is duly represented by the Minister for Youth and Sports. Before he gives us his remarks, I will call on a poet, Mr. Wanda Sitope Mandel, to give us a poetry recital.
here to speak. I am here to speak plainly. I am here to cut through the sweet chocolate coatings and lay bare the reality of Ghana's cocoa farmers. Imagine this, waking up at dawn and dipping your hands down the earth, planting, growing and harvesting, and at the end of the day, you have barely enough food to put on the table. This is the reality of Ghana's cocoa farmers, the people who put Ghana's cocoa on the map. Let's not pretend, this is pure exploitation, plain and simple. The cocoa industry is worth billions, yet the farmer sees only crumbs. Their children walk miles to schools and their home crumble to the rain, and health care is just a distant dream. Indeed, the product is premium, but the original producer is poor. So tell me how this is fair. Tell me how can a nation rise when its backbone, its farmers are still bent low? We are here talking about GDP and economic growth. Whose growth are we really talking about? The truth is here, the truth is hard, the truth is bitter. The cocoa farmer just wants what is fair. They don't want sympathy, they want dignity. They want fair prices, they want fair policies. They want fair share of the wealth that they create. With every bar of chocolate sold, with every ton of cocoa exported, there's a cocoa farmer somewhere who deserves better. We owe it to them, not in words, but in action. It's time for us to hold the system accountable. It's time for us to turn the promises into reality. Let the wealth of cocoa flows back. Let it build better homes. Let it build better schools. Let it build stronger future for the people who toils for it. This is not a spoken word. This are the voices and the tears of many cocoa farmers out there. Ghana cannot truly rise until the cocoa farmer rises too. Remember this, Galamsey kills, but cocoa heals.
Do it better for him. Galamsey kills, cocoa heals. Let me seize this opportunity to say a big thank you to our sponsors, KGL, Bethel Logistics, Cocoa Board, ADB, and Cocoa Processing Company. Thank you so much for supporting this wonderful initiative. Before the Honorable Minister representing the President of the Republic mounts the stage, we have a very short 45 seconds video, a surprise one for former President Kufuor for his contribution towards the cocoa industry during his tenure.
Prior to the press conference in Accra, Cadbury senior officials met with President of Ghana, John Kufuor, to present him with a huge chocolate football in recognition with CAN 2008, the Africa Cup of Nations, which is being held in Ghana this year.
It's in fact 100 years since the Cadbury family began trading in Ghana. And they came here because they were dissatisfied with the way in which farmers were being treated in other parts of the world. And on the basis of that ethical choice, we sit here today, and I hope you've all benefited from it. I'm most certainly very proud to be following in their footsteps today, as we seek to begin an initiative which we hope will secure the future of cocoa in this country and for our business for another 100 years to come.
Whilst I thank you for your consideration, I should send this singular ball to the Black Stars to say that Cadbury's has remembered the efforts the Black Stars are making to affirm Ghana's position soccer font, because now all over, even in Brazil, they talk Ghana when they are considering soccer. So I thank you. Now send this to the Ghana team.
Prior to the press conference in Accra, Cadbury senior officials met.
I think former President Kufuor deserves another round of applause. He's one of the best leaders Africa, and for that matter, Ghana has ever had. Let me acknowledge Professor Ofosu-Asare, the Vice Chancellor, Presbyterian University. Prof, thank you so much. He's a childhood friend of Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare. Dr. Osman Cheneboa, Chief Accountant, Ministry of Youth and Sports, is also in our midst. Once he's here, I'm sure my first copy can go for about 50K. Dr. William Jomfo, a member of the LOC and a medical doctor. Oh, let's put our hands together for her. At this juncture, I'll call on the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports. I refer to him as the Affable Mustafa Yusuf, representing the President of the Republic of Ghana. Let's put our hands together for the Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Kiki Sapong, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you all. Let me begin by extending the sincere apologies of the first gentleman of our nation, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for his inability to be here in person. I also wish to express my appreciation for the honor to deliver his brief remark. We all know the importance of cocoa in Ghana's economic and cultural history and its continuous relevance to the future of our development. Ghana has the best cocoa in the world, and together with Ivory Coast, we control 60% of the world's cocoa production. However, the owner of these products do not benefit enough from the multi-billion-dollar cocoa industry. Mr. Chairman, considering the importance of this singular crop to our livelihood as a nation, and I filled the book by Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare, which in examining the role of the states in the cocoa industry is very apt and well timed. There is a growing number of countries, including China and Colombia, who seek to carve out a portion of the cocoa industry for their countries. Ladies and gentlemen, seeing this enviable position of Ghana as the producer of the world's best cocoa, we cannot relent and be responsible for a decline in this status as the world's best cocoa producer. The state has a very important role to play in ensuring the survival and the growth of our cocoa industry. Considering the caliber of the person of Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare, I'm very, very confident that this book will provide key insights and recommendation to the state and to guide our efforts in enhancing the development of our cocoa industry. Mr. Chairman, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Ofosu-Asare for this great contribution to the nation and the singular symbol of his efforts in the cocoa industry, which is Ghana cocoa. And on this note, on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Kwaku, I wish to declare the Ghana cocoa industry, the role of the states, duly launched. Thank you so much. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you, the Honorable Sports Minister. The minister whose constituency's name is very difficult to pronounce. He's been a friend for years, but I've always struggled to pronounce Yagaba Kubori. Okay, I got it right this time around. Mr. Rex Proby has a special duty to perform. Afterwards, we'll do the unveiling and the launch. Let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We started the African Games with a whole bunch of people, and right after the African Games, we lost two very significant people. One is the Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Emmanuel Owusu-Ansah, and the other is the President and CEO of the Soft Tribe, Mr. Herman Chinri Hesse. Dr. Owusu-Ansah is not represented here today, but we are all here for him. And Herman is represented today by his son, Ni Tete Chinri Hesse. Ni Tete, can you please stand up, please? Let's give Dr. Owusu-Ansah and Herman's son a big round of applause for the contributions they gave for the African Games. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ni Tete.
Thank you, Mr. Rex Proby, the only sportsman who wears tracksuit with chow chow. I have a record. Guinness Book of Records, Mofanko. It is now time to attend to the reason why we've gathered here this evening, to unveil and launch the book, Ghana's Cocoa Industry, the Role of the State. And once the Honorable Minister is representing His Excellency the President, he will take the lead, supported ably by the Chairman and the dignitaries at the high table. Thank you. Okay, I'm told you have to start from the one in front of us.
On behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Kwaku, I officially unveiled and launched this book.
no. You can pick some. You can pick one or five.
Okay. For the cameras, just pick a copy. Yes, and pose with them for the cameras. Oh, shall we put our hands together? Let's put our hands together for them, please. You may take your seats. So, finally, Ghana's cocoa industry, the role of the state, has been duly unveiled and launched. It is now time to auction and raise funds for, how do you say for the author? For the work done by the author. Now, Edrusi K Yeboah we know we table so far, but now we're in any eyes with you. So, how about Nigga before so I'm over? Yenny Papa be was so them now, when he can. If you are about so one Ghana city cocoa on the back. Was such will be our so them. With the Asasa, Danasi, who do collection for no one. He's a so this coming. Oh, was on the agenda. I'm going. A lot of thought, a lot of effort, a lot of hard work has gone into the production of this book. And it will go a long way to improve the cocoa sector. And I'm sure all of us here will be willing to show love by way of rewarding the efforts of the author. Enough of Utie we want to make a woman. Tienia Yoko, Saitoni, and Tampon Womanson. The first copy of the book. Well, we shall. If we take a question, but as well, be see a near Tom Cocoa book, our higher tone is. What was I Tony say? A very comprehensive report on the cocoa industry, government by government, since the Fourth Republic. Guru, you are pushing me away. Madam, for you were boys, candy, or don't say for me. How much do you think a copy of the book should go for? 200,000. That's Mr. Rex Broby, the only athlete who wears tracksuit with chow chow. I say it should go for 200,000. Who agrees with them? One on any yard. Okay, I've just received some good news that one of us here is ready to buy a copy of this book for half the figure he mentioned, 100,000 cities. Vision JDK. Oh, let's put our hands together for him. But your ushers, you know, Mumbai Tamba Kumano. Oshesi mama manya has a chivia coco. Aha. Nse chivia coco ya mama lam na about 5:30 na ko bossa no ayewa. Mama ho anya shia bebu chivia. Vision JDK at my extreme right. Oh, let's put our hands together once again. 100,000 Ghana cedis. Then can 1 billion. Come across here, sit down. Trust us, sit down. Waiting for some. Who else is willing to match that figure? 100,000 for a first copy. Who else? It is not about the value of the book, but our desire to reward the work put in by the author. That's what book launching is about. I'm sure they really had to go 2 shelves, so they wouldn't sell anything close to this figure I mentioned. But we are here to reward his effort. I've always said that we're living in a country that has gained notoriety for celebrating the dead. Yes, the big tissues is here. And no one say, 100,000 cedis. Okay. Another good news. Dr. Sam Jonah has picked a copy for 100,000 cedis. Oh, let's put our hands together for Dr. Sam Jonah. Uniska osi kurari ona. Akoton mani no creativity awo yelede. Uto nenki sira sengwa no kurabebi. Obo sema Dr. Sam Jonah. Let me give it to Mr. Rex Proby. He's an Olympian. And no wonder said they be out of the social sports way. But Chacha penalty match. No, before God and man, I'm more than 40 years. Me who be at the tracks is such a chow chow. A record can see Okay, so I am moving to half the figure with which the first copy was bought. 50,000 cedis. 50,000 cedis. And who accountant for the almost figure and no much is your trust. Mr. Alex Daddy, KGL, 50,000 cedis. Oh, what do you tell me about them? Thank you so much, Mr. Alex Daddy. 50,000 cedis. KGL. Nti wa share sino me body na mu bisa papa na o share track sheet ne chow chow. Obekire mu nipa na mo dia koma. Who else? Better Logistics is giving us 48,000. Kaudi two lusoso ana much a book two. Better quarter amount. Oh, Bonzema Better Logistics, 48,000 Ghana cedis. Oshas no munye jumani mami. Who else is giving us 50,000 for a copy of the book? A lot of effort, a lot of work goes into coming up with a book. Who else? 50,000 cedis. Who is a ministry accountant to her? LOC accountant to her. One can come on contractors. Ministry accountant, another consult to a well, the open could come figure be a way ready. The home minister, come and take it. Azuma Nelson was launching his book. Now, Bobo figure now, no beer, mobia, harvest near the amount. And will be couple 50,000. Now, Azuma Nelson, no offer as your team in jail or 30 and a man on 55. I'm saying, Mangoma Azuma Bufu. Pacho, who is representing Bethel Logistics? Not Ushers Nunfa and Bremo. Okay. Ebiomo, Isika Nedruha, Nipani Nyamai, and the cash in here. The Honorable Minister has whispered that he's representing the first gentleman of the state. Yabetua Banti undisclosed amount. One shot Yabechina Daily Post. Akufu waste Ghana's money on Ofosu-Asare's book. Not be online so far. Not join the Atuaso. And you see, President is giving a very good amount, but undisclosed. Let's put our hands together for the first gentleman of the state. His Excellency Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo. This is political expediency. Minister, Kobo figure Kakribian Kadu Jubilee Azabeti. Mustafa, who told you to mention that figure? Why didn't you tell me? Come to me. Who else is giving us 50,000 cedis? I've been told Mr. Ernest Danson is purchasing one for 50,000 cedis. Oh, let's put our hands together for him. He's sitting close to the minister's accountant. The man, I don't want to catch a minister accountant. And please be reminded that these are autographed copies. So if you buy it here, the author will give you an autograph. Okoto, Akramola, autograph, and you can't eat your cake and have it. Fisher folks no mega say autograph so you better autograph na water. Who else? Who else? 50,000. Streaming live. Okay, Mami Unko, another step downwards. Pacho, the man with the longest name, Ahmed Osman Gugruwe, Obechiro Mr. Ernest Danson. As you better, because I'm not the coming brave. Ahmed, Miamin, Misemin, and I are the same class, from Boca, at Miana. 30,000 cedis. Who is buying the next copy for 30,000 cedis? 30,000 cedis. It takes a lot of investment to tour the whole of Ghana to come up with this book. Interview cocoa farmers, go deep into the bush, get people to analyze the data, get professors to endorse them, and you market one. It took years. 30,000 cedis. 30. And I'm inside question one more down. The Ofosu-Asare. Now we now do AI sports not to any company, but one has one. Why? 13,000. Okay, 20,000 cedis. 20,000. Oh, let's put our hands together for the Honorable Minister. I want to accountant, but just on the head of the ministry. Not that you go over here. What do you mean there? 10,000 cities. The Honorable Minister, I'm sure he's done it in the name of the ministry. I don't know. Okay. We're the personal copy. Oh, let's put our hands together for Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, MP for Yagaba, Badi Beach. Mori. 20,000 cities. 20,000. The Honorable Minister has bought a copy for 20,000. Who else? Who else? It was that time I'm so first of all, I'm for a while. Now, when I get to one, to buy to be doing the animal Masaba, I go now. You know, have a tower. But what you have to be a we're now to travel together when you have a tower as a plan. Okay, we go from you. We go from you. Okay, 10,000. Oh, let's put our hands together for contractor. Oh, Bonsembi, Mr. Sarkozy, and Mr. Nenchi. I'm not going to travel no more to our house. I can't even get what 10,000 cities. 10,000 cities. 10,000. Hey, our ministry is still at rooms. Okay, Mr. Tony Amanga is a contractor, 10,000 cities. A consultant, sorry. K Yeboah Emcees 10,000 cities. He's got a copy for 10,000. Oh, former President J. Okufo. Oh, Bonzelma, the gentle giant. The reps is tobacco for 10,000 cities. Oh, Bonzelma, you can say. What? Why you heavy? One community should not be cancer. We know us. Or no one, your president, now your minister needs someone or hold. No, you minister, the minister is so for Copacho, you're not consular of fair. Wamena. Yaoyen, Yanaka, Semi, Cabay, Guasse, to the Sofa, Pacho, where is I? And FFA. We're being overcome. You will be as a mom. How the man is to bring. When you take his own mom, forward the Ghana co walk out. One copy. And you will be a yas. I am a yapa. I don't know you will go to my. Gentle down. Well, some more grow up from nowhere. He's one of the best leaders Ghana has had. I've listened to some of the ministers of Dr. Nkrumah, and they said same about him. I said, Nkaneno, GBC was the only news outlet. Now you're Nkrumah minister, about 12 now they call Lancha. I said, go to GBC and Sana. Because if you have the idea now to see you, you know, be an airborne. In this edition, Minister Mustafa has been sacked. Well, who will be a answer? Indeed. I'm going to before they be yada pop. Ah, so with this over the window. For one with John for fair. Opa Casamo, Opa Casamo, found. On a different post the mouth. 10,000 cities, former President for Mayani. Mind you, 10,000 cities. 10,000 cedis. Mindy said this test, man. Hey, ministry about. Our ministry says what 5,000 yen. Hey, ministry when you are who be at the top of 10 at home, you know. What's the one ministry? My young papa. Okay, lest I forget, Studio 7 card, out of our 50,000 cedis. Oh, born 7 years, 500 million old cedis. Studio 7 cards, rep. But your ministry, me and no former honorable minister, 5,002. Ministry, when you are yeah, to one jiba 10 was my 255. Yeah, come. Politicians don't just get no musu. At the newspaper headline, Mustafa blows ministry cash on Coco book. Mustafa, isn't true you spend that money on the book? Say, Your Excellency, please, come on. 5,000 cedis. Who else? 5,000 cedis. 5,000 cedis. Oh, Yamo Yansema, Yamami, Pacho Edini. Mr. Abbey, and then won't come for Bowen 5,000 cedis. Oh, that's dog's in-laws. Oh, my ade. Oh, Bonsem. Uko wari wo fie papa mu a usam kwan. Uko wari get to diba ri nko ha umuri. My ade nyame nshira. 5,000 cedis. 5,000 cedis. 4,000 cedis. 4,000 cedis. Akasa en wa ha. Akade kura mnengo. Okay. Now, Muntu Yakamo Society. 4,000 cedis. 2,000. 2,000 there. I'm at the Jigawa to 2,000. Gadilai, Mr. Gadilai, a marketing expert. He's bought one for 2,000 cedis. Oh, yeah, boy, and Semano. Soft Tribe representative has bought a copy for 2,000 cedis. Oh, let's do it for them, please. Even in mourning, they've shown support. 2,000 cedis. 2,000 the Okra last hope. 2,000 cedis. 2,000 cedis. At least we sold most of the books on this one. The rest of the books, I'm going to sell it on offer. Wow, mommy. The rest of the books are on the table behind me. I'm going to sell them on offer. Ebiana, who is Caporo Subaru Fedabie, to me frames, oh, Metrobacco, 20,000. na me de abɛhyɛ wo nsa. Mɛtɔ baako 1,000 na me de abɛhyɛ wo nsa. Mɛtɔ baako 1,500 na me de abɛhyɛ wo nsa. At this stage, that's how I'm selling the rest. Into a dear moment, and tell me, Uncle Adiasa, and Seliwa. Just call me and whisper. I'll buy one for 2,000. Okay. What's your Mundi Machiness Cafe? University of Ghana Business School have ordered 5 books, 1,000 each. Oh, Mumba Monsema 1,000 cedis each. That's the offer they gave us. 2 Premier, welcome Masum. University of Ghana Business School. 5 copies, 1,000 cedis each. Okay. Mr. Ebenezer Sampa is giving us 3,000 for 3 copies. Oh, yeah, boy, and say, man. A crab, yeah, this girl's you. Accountant for more in a movie of a Lucy accountant, any ministry accountant. Memorial. Mr. Sampa is taking 3 copies for 3,000 cedis, 1,000 cedis per copy. If you want to take the receipt for your pages, ashes now. Remember, Mr. Sampa can get one of our pages here. We sell it based on the offer you give us. To our friend, so willingly, we perceive tobacco 1,000 cedis, perceive tobacco 500 cedis, perceive tobacco 2,000 cedis. Who else? Madam Rose Abena Pibra is buying a copy for 500 cedis. But your family now you cash. Okay. Mr. Charles Aqua is acquiring a copy for 500 cedis. I see my childhood friend and Dr. Ofosu-Asare. Mr. Kingsley for 500 cedis. Please get him a copy, please. University of Ghana Business School class of 93, Dona, is getting 2 copies for 1,000 cedis each. I'm just about wrapping up. The University of Ghana Business School, Mr. Doni. Asantwa, beginning to come. Okay, Madam Media. Madam Elizabeth Grant. Okay. Dog Mommy. 2 for 2,000. Oh, let's put our hands together for Madam Grant. I think for the sake of time, I have to Mr. Festus Alote is buying a copy for 1,000 cedis. Please get him the copy. That's the money. Okay, I'm told he's also a childhood friend of Dr. Ofosu-Asare. We need to draw the curtain and end the auction session. We'll be going out for dinner whilst the chop is going on. You can get a copy. Mr. Lentry is getting a copy for 500 cedis. Nana and Sabrimpong, Dr. Ofosu-Asare's boy, getting 2 for 1,000 cedis. Time is fast spent, and so I'm wrapping up here. Hey, I've been instructed by Chairman to wrap up. Another copy for Mr. Sarko, the concert, 1,000 cedis. Where are the ushers? So we officially wrapping up. We'll be going for dinner from here. There's a buffet right at the door. So whilst we're enjoying ourselves, chewing the chewables and biting the vitables, you can have access and buy your copy. The cover price, okay, I already mentioned the cover price. Mr. Chairman will give us his closing remarks, then we step out. Let's put our hands together for Dr. K Yeboah.
Thank you very much, MC, for the wonderful job done. I'm sure you will allow Yeboah, is it? You go on and on till midnight. Well, we've had a very fruitful evening. And the star boy, Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare, has given us some food for thought. My duty here is just to give the closing remarks, and I don't think I want to be repeating what has been said already. Since I have a lot of insight into what has happened in the cocoa industry, I want to add my voice by saying that the state, through Cocoa Board, should do a bit more to ensure that we sustain the industry. So we should keep the Cocoa Board, just like we fought the IMF and the World Bank. And I was involved to keep the board with the kind of reforms which went on. But I must add that we should ensure that the board operates efficiently and also eliminate corruption. The issue of child labor has been raised. I think our international collaborators don't understand the nature of the industry in this country and its relationship with our culture. I believe that those of us who face international institutions should do well to explain the cocoa industry. In fact, I think when I was in the International Cocoa Organization, this issue was very prevalent. I believe they don't understand the nature of our family structure and the industry. All of us worked on the farms, especially with harvesting and drying of cocoa. That is our habitat. I mean, the village, the cocoa farm, the hamlet. These children don't have television there. They may not get one. But if they are assisting their parents, I don't think that we should see this as child labor. Reading the notes in the book, Sir Sam Jonah has raised the issue of China venturing into cocoa production. I think the professors should be alert to this issue, and perhaps the policymakers should try to analyze what this means for us in terms of policy choices in the medium to the long term. Obviously, if China should vigorously do cocoa production, then world supply will go down. And the prices that we are seeing today will not be there for a long time to come. I believe the way to go for Ghana will be to grind more of our cocoa locally, so that we do the value addition here. And that may help us to be able to earn good revenue and assist our farmers. On the whole, I support, and I believe all of you agree with me, that the state involvement is a must. Otherwise, the industry may suffer. This has to do with the setting up producer prices. And I want to say that if we move away from what we are doing, it can be very disastrous. In fact, in the scheme of things, initially, the World Bank, IMF wanted us to liberalize the entire sector from domestic purchasing to the export trade. But those of us who were there that time took the position that let's move cautiously. That is why we did the domestic liberalization without touching the export liberalization. I'm sure they will come back knocking on the doors. It's up to us to sharpen our arguments and be in a position to tell them that maybe we need to be cautious, tread cautiously, otherwise we'll be destroying the industry forever. But nobody knows. I think what is happening now with the difficulty in raising finance for cocoa purchases may have to give us some direction, a new direction, but I don't know what it will be. We may need to debate and see what ought to be done. But certainly the state involvement is a must. And I think Dr. Ofosu-Asare has made a point, and there's no need for us to argue otherwise. Policy choices should be driven by government so that we can sustain our industry. I think that on that note, I would say that we've done justice to the book, but obviously I had a close discussion with him when he visited. There are certain aspects that we may need to maybe enhance in the future edition of the book, but I leave that to a bilateral discussion a song litany. Thank you all very much for coming this evening. I know that the time is fast spent. 5 o'clock, many of us have taken dinner, so it's the right time for us to break. And then once the auctioning can continue, and then if you want to buy many more of the copies, I think they've printed a lot more, which will be put on the shelves. Thank you very much for coming, and have a good trip back home. Enjoy your refreshment.
Thank you so much, Dr. KK Sapon. Oh, let's give it up to the chairman of the occasion, Dr. KK Sapon. Mrs. Frida Jiradosi will give us the vote of thanks, and Mr. Ibrahim Sowa Eje, a member of the LOC, will give us the closing prayer. A round of applause for Mrs. Frida Jiradosi.
Thank you so much, Mr. K Yeboah. This is the day that the Lord has made. We rejoice and we are glad in it. Amen. Standing by the already existing or established protocol, and on behalf of Dr. Ofosu-Asare, the reason for which we are gathered here this evening, it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for today's milestone event. The Bible says in 1 Chronicles chapter 29, verse 13, and I read, "Now therefore, our God, we thank you and we praise your glorious name." So first off, we want to thank the Almighty God for such a significant and milestone event. Like Dr. Ofosu-Asare said, Ebenezer, thus far has the Lord brought him, and for that he is very grateful. Amen. To the Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, representing the President of the Republic of Ghana, thank you. Thank you for not only sparing your invaluable time to grace this event, but for also adding your voice and endorsing this timely piece of work. To Dr. Edungofo, representing the former President, John Adekun, thank you. We also extend our gratitude to former President Kufuor for his constant support. To our esteemed chairman, Dr. KK Sapon, to be precise, thank you for generously sharing your insights and experiences, not only as a broker, but also as the leading administrator and contributor to the cocoa industry in Ghana. Thank you. Posterity would remember your good works. To Professor Daniel Busapon, thank you for such a raving review. Thank you for the recommendations and thank you for the endorsements. To the local organizing committee members of the just ended All African Games, to the sports fraternity in general and the media, to the representatives of the Dean, the management and alumni of the University of Ghana Business School, thank you. To the family and friends of Dr. Ofosu-Asare, thank you. And now to every one of us who has gathered here today, Dr. Ofosu-Asare is highly honored and deeply appreciative for all the support and all that you have sacrificed to be here today. For every way you have supported and championed this cause, may the good Lord bless and keep you. Once again, thank you so much. Akbe Yedamwasi, Oyiwadon Nagode. Merci.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, as we close this extraordinary event, we started with the Alpha we'll close with the Omega. So I'm here. My name is Ibrahim Majay to give you the closing prayer. Your attention, please. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim Suwa Eji. Before we step out for the small chops, the siblings of Dr. Kwaku Ofosu-Asare are also buying copies for 500 cedis. But you light, we need a light.